Good evening, everybody, and here we go again.
Good evening.
Edition.
Another edition. You got her.
You got her. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about some of the items that were brought up in the group, plus a few miscellaneous things, a little bit of news. I'd say weather, but yeah, I don't want to talk about the weather right now. So, how's Lonnie tonight?
Lonnie's doing well. Lonnie's
Yeah.
doing well tonight. How about yourself? Things good?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been busy working on 3D rendering when the weather's bad. So
I've seen that. Looking pretty awesome.
yeah, I've been actually working on a Halloween theme right now. So, but yeah, Doug was supposed to join us tonight, but unfortunately he called last minute and he's working late. So he just got off doing afternoon shift for the last couple of weeks. That's why he hasn't been around. But he's just chomping at the bit to join us again. But then last minute he had to stay and work overtime. So hopefully he'll join us next week. But anyway, in the meantime and in between time, you got anything additional you want, Lonnie?
No, I don't think so. Let's roll.
Okay. Well, let's bring in our special guest tonight. We've got a couple of members of the group that are going to give us a little bit of good input on the permitting process that they went through for flying within Calgary. So I'd like everybody to kind of welcome, I'd like you to welcome. We've got Leo and we've got Ashad joining us tonight.
Hi.
And,
evening, gentlemen.
They're going to be talking to us and telling us about their experience and the process that they went through to do their permitting and stuff. And Arshad, you were kind of late. You kind of missed the pre-show discussion. But if you've got anything to say, please just jump right in. Don't wait for us to ask you. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, Lauren. I can share my experience with my recent documentary by Calgary, which I try to cover almost every part of the town, and mainly the downtown was the hard part for me, and that is a lengthy process which I go through in last 2 months before my documentary release. So I can share that one, and there's a few things which we need to be considered that the city says you required 10 business day for permits, but honestly, I went through about 4 to 5 weeks with communicating with each other and preparation the papers and stuff. And but keep in mind everything should be ready before apply the permit and stuff. And when I apply, I still take 3 to 4 weeks after my application. So there's a few things which I can share you, which I received a paper from the City of Calgary's department. It's called Calgary Economic Development, and they reached me out about my documentary, and they asked me and they sent me a piece of paper where I can send them the details of my project, and that details was that I want to do a video shoot of Calgary downtown. And for my documentary, they asked me the documentary budget, how much budget you are spending on that documentary, how what kind of project is that kind of details. And when I provide that details, they were okay with that, and then they send me another form which say acceptance of terms and condition of filming in Calgary. I signed that paper, sent them back, they accepted. And the most important thing they asked me after, there's a 5 6 thing they want me to do that. The third thing was a proof of insurance for $2 million, and that insurance is not a simple insurance. You need to be add City of Calgary as the beneficiary, and they you have to talk with your insurance company first. They provide you the endorsement with the City of Calgary name, and then that is an additional paper. There's no cost, but that is an additional paperwork you do with your insurance company and send that to City of Calgary, and then they accept your insurance of 2 million. And after sending that insurance thing, they required the simple thing, or your drone certificate, your approval from the NAV Canada, and that kind of stuff. And I had that before I apply. So I sent them my advanced certificate and authorization from NAV Canada and stuff. And lastly, when they say we approve all your stuff, but they required city permits, and it depends where you are going to fly. They gave me two choices. One choice, if the property is a private and your takeoff position and landing spot is a private property, then I don't need to apply for any city permit because that land is not city owned. And I had few locations with my friends which was property, a private property, so I don't need for that. But the other when I need a Calgary for my Calgary tower shoot, then I need a Ninth Avenue location, and that is city of Calgary's property. And other shoot I took from Olympic Plaza and few others. So Olympic Plaza, that is a different department. That is not a road department. Road departments only deal with the roads, pathways, and stuff. And parks department, they deal with the parks like Olympic Plaza. So Olympic Plaza, they charge about 87.50 plus GST, something about $90. And the road stuff, the permit costs you about $25. So they're two different departments, and but everything deal by with you don't need to apply separately. They send you paper. We need to fill up those paper and send back to the same department, Calgary Economic Development. We don't need to send those papers separately to the road department or parks department. So that is the good part with dealing with them. And everything was dealing at one place, at one department, and the one person was dealing with me, and that lady is very cooperative. Her name is Jolene Mathieu. And the final two, one thing was when they approved the city permit and everything was, I have papers, then they send me another paperwork that called neighbor's letter. It's behind the scene neighbor's letter. They provide you their own format. They send you a piece of paper. You have to copy that. You print your own stuff on that, and that stuff is the permission and information provide to your neighbors where you're flying to. Like on Ninth Avenue, uh, I send that letter to by not by mail, by hand to the around the hotels and all the businesses, which may affect because of my shoot. So I sent that a day before personally on every location which I got permit, and after that letter we are good. So what they do, the department like a Calgary Economic Development, they send the same piece of paper, the same letter to 311 department and emergency department like a police. So if police caught you over there, they already know that you have the permission, and someone complained to 311, so they know that you have permission, so there is no issue then. So these are basically five, six things which I go through, and these all things it took me more than 4 weeks. About 5 weeks I spent on this process. This is the all story.
Great. Thanks for sharing with us there, Ashad. I appreciate that. Who was the person, or where did you initially make contact? Like, was there a specific department, or was that Calgary
Yeah.
Economic Development?
Yeah, I contact to basically 311, and they told me that you need to talk Calgary Economic Development. They provide me the number and everything. So the phone number is 403-221-7886, and the name of or the person who deal this kind of creative industries, it called, her name is Jolene, and last name is Motiuk. So this lady mostly she deal all that kind of stuff. She's the person who deal this filming stuff, and she helped me a lot for each and everything. But the paperwork is so long, so you have to be prepared for everything: insurance, the neighbors letters, and park permit, a road permit. So you need to be know before that where you're flying to. And she sent like a links, web links, so I apply online, but the everything go to her eventually, and she deal with. I did not pay directly to parks department or road departments. I just pay to her through her, and it's kind of easy, so I just stay within one department, but I deal with few departments.
Yeah. Great. So, Leo, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
The ASTM.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, as we know, we can't fly over people unless we have the parachute system installed, or we got to close down roads. So once again, permits. So I acquired the ParaZero Safer system. Here, I'll show you. This is it on the Mavic 2 Pro. Here. Now you can't just get the parachute alone. You gotta actually get the professional kit, which is the actual ASTM, and then handheld switch to set it off if you need to do it manually.
The handheld trigger.
Yes, that's what it's called. Yeah. So I acquired this because, I mean, as you can see, what Smart mentioned about all the permits. Imagine if we had to close down roads, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to be flying over people, which in Calgary, you're most likely going to be flying over people, right? So you're going to have to be closing down roads and have police presence sometimes. So I figured this is the best way to go, especially for my line of work. I'm usually in Calgary development and construction sites. But of course, I can't be on the actual construction site itself. So I'm taking off from across the road or something. And obviously, I can't fly towards the construction site. So this allows me more freedom.
So with that system, then, do you require less permitting?
No, but I mean, I wouldn't have to close down roads in Calgary, because even with a permit, you still can't fly over people.
So the process is not any easier just because you have a parachute system.
It allows me to fly over people.
But but the paperwork, the logistics is still the same.
No, the city has nothing to do with anything. This is all Transport Canada.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to fly a block away and somebody walks under it, you can't, unless you have the parachute system.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure if it would weigh a little bit easier on the city when you applied for a permit.
No, they've actually, I when I send them all my information, as Shad mentioned, they have no idea about that. It makes no difference to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's move on to our next topic. And there we go. We had Benjamin asking about the new rules and stuff for flying over or flying near airports and stuff, and that isn't in cars, but that's in the new AIM manual that came out on October 8th. And So basically, I'm pretty sure he was referring to. Come on. Why is it not working? I'm just not having a good night tonight, folks. Let's.
You had it working.
Yeah, I did. So I'm going to
You
try
did.
it again. There we go. Woohoo! This, I'm pretty sure this is what he was referring to is the new thing that's in the AIM manual, and flying at or in the vicinity of an airport, heliport, water aerodrome, established procedures. Probably what. First of all, I want to mention that what this AIM part deals with is not is a registered airport, not a certified airport. Sorry, that's not quite correct. Certified airport, but not in controlled airspace. So probably one of the biggest things is as an advanced pilot. Well, actually, both Leo and Ashad would know this, but they kind of frown on you talking on the radio, if at all possible. Correct?
Mhm.
But now in this procedure here, they're actively pursuing that you talk over the radio when you are in at a certified airport, but not within controlled airspace. So that's one thing that's a huge, big difference. And I think this is the first place where they outright identify the what the heck is it? Canada Research, the drone site selection tool. And one of the key things, because they talk about the orange areas and stuff like that. So like when you actually look at the drone site selection tool, like we've got red and we've got yellow, and there's everybody saying, well, where's the orange? Well, you're not going to be flying near a certified airport unless you make sure that you select your advanced. Watch what happens to our red when you click on advanced. All of a sudden the red turns orange, right? But you wouldn't be talking over the radio when you're in the Calgary here, because that is controlled airspace. And unless your NAV Canada approval says that they want you to contact them via radio, then you don't need to worry about it. But let's look down here at Okotoks, right? This is orange, but you see these guys are yellow. Now, if you're flying just outside of there, you're not required to deal with this procedure. If your flight is going to have any kind of an incursion on there, then yes, you should, right? But if you're flying in the area, you should be monitoring the radio if at all possible. So, gentlemen, you guys got any comments on that?
What?
Yeah, we are good.
Rashad?
Yeah, we are good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I myself have not done anything from NAV Canada regarding that. I did phone 311 and ask for the number for the helicopter over Bull. Sorry, I'm new here. The Bull River. I don't even know what it's called. But she didn't even know what I was talking about, for one, 311.
Yeah. No.
And then she looked into it more. And then she did find, I can't find it right now, but you actually got to contact them one day ahead to schedule everything with your, I'm thinking of airport.
Heliport.
Heliport. There you go.
Yeah.
The heliport in advance.
Yeah,
This
and
is by Princess Island.
Yeah, around the Peace Bridge, I believe.
Yeah.
To the west of the Peace Bridge.
Yeah, there's the downtown heliport down there.
Mhm.
So, and for those that weren't really aware of it, but like if you go to the uh, site selection tool, you know, if you want contact information, like this one here, right, is for the Rocky View. If you click on that, it's going to give you basically your information, right? And under your details, right, it'll give you some good information there, right? And not always, but sometimes, like there's your access procedures, right? And that's what they're referring to in AIM when they say, you know, the about following the access procedures. So if you follow those, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Now, if you go to these little yellow ones, when you go to details, quite often there's a contact information. So if you need to contact the operator of that, then you can. So there's your who's running it, right?
Yeah.
So, and like I say, quite often in those they will include a contact number. Not all the time, but but quite often that is there. So.
The lady I was speaking with, 311, she was actually pretty good. She knew how NAV Canada works, believe it or not. So when she mentioned all aircraft. Doesn't matter if it's a drone, helicopter, or anything else.
Yeah.
And she said, well, at the end of the day, doesn't NAV Canada have the power, not the actual heliport? So once again, it's like
it's a juggling act, and this is kind of a good segue to go into one of the final questions that we got from Patrick Morrell about cities banning drones. And don't know if you've heard it. It's a lot more prevalent down in the U.S. about cities and towns and stuff banning drones. I'm going to go back to probably January or February of 2018. I was part of a group that was in discussion with Transport Canada on coming up with the new regs that we have now. And that's actually a question that I brought up. I said, can a municipality ban drones? And he said, well, technically, no. He said that they can limit your takeoff and landing, but he said as soon as you're in the air, they have no jurisdiction whatsoever. That is under Transport Canada / NAV Canada. Now, if they have bylaws in effect that say you can't take off or land, great. But if they say you can't fly, well, as the guy, who we were talking with the Deputy Minister of Transport at this meeting, and he said if you ever went to court, he said make sure that you challenge that, because that is not their jurisdiction. So can they limit your takeoff and landing? Oh, absolutely. You know, under their bylaws, and as you guys know, like Rashad, you went through that for the permitting and stuff. For your takeoff and your landing, once you're in the air, it's fair game, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but that's it's sometimes a little bit of power grab between different levels of government, but ultimately, federal pretty much trumps that. So.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because, as you know, about what happened here in Airdrie with me.
Oh yeah,
They pulled that on me, even though there's a drone bylaw in Airdrie, and they said I can't fly in Airdrie.
Yeah. Oh, they shut you down, did they?
Yeah, they wanted all my certifications, all the whole works, everything.
Really?
even though they have no authorization to do so. But
Just to avoid the fight.
Actually, as my experience, the police doesn't have much information about the bylaws, because one time, not this year, last year, I was flying for my client on his property, on his parking lot, and that was some event was going on, and then that important to shoot the specific moment, and the right way a police guy came and say, "Oh, you can't fly right away, pull it down." And I bring it down anyway because police. And I said, I have everything. I have communication with the airport. Right now, I talk to them, and they know I'm flying, and we are safe. And I am according to bylaw and within my limits. And I'm in a private property. And they say, okay, we just holding you until my supervisor come, who knows about the bylaws and stuff. And he took about 40 minutes to come at my place, and that time that event was over. So sometime it happens, they don't know, and then he says, sorry, I delayed your stuff, and stuff. But it doesn't work there.
Yeah, and if you ever do get one of the local Leos, sorry, Leo,
okay.
one of the local law enforcement officers question
He's from Airdrie.
one of the local law enforcement officers question you about that, cut them a little bit of slack, because 99% of the officers there really have no frickin' clue, and they don't want to have to enforce anything, any of the flight stuff, because frankly, they've got enough to do. And usually they only come out if they get a phone call and somebody complains, right? So as long as you're not breaking any laws, just yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, and just discretion is a better part of valor on this. So, but make sure you land your drone first.
Yeah.
Just tell them, look, I'll talk to you as soon as I land, but right now I'm in the middle of controlling an aircraft. So let me land first, and then we'll discuss this. So
Exactly.
yeah, because if you start talking to him and all of a sudden you run into something, then all of a sudden that doesn't make you look very good.
No, the situation will change very fast.
Yes. So, anyways, anything else you gentlemen would like to add?
Lauren, is really a 1 minute interesting story. Last week I was in Golden, BC, and I took my both drones with me, and before I send the information to Vancouver FIR, and they said you are out of control zone, so you are good to go. And when I went there, it's my Mavic Pro shows it's, and I seen that on website too, that is a restricted zone. And then I try on my Mini, and it flew away, like in the air, and there's no problem. But and I took my shot, which I want. And when it was on a air about 100 or 120 feet up, and it suddenly say you are in a no-fly zone, and it will stopping your operation. It coming down. I try to stop my drone because I want to land at a proper place, and it was about half block other side, but it doesn't stop. It just come right on the street where I don't want, but it came, and I cannot stop. And after that, I try for my information. Maybe it work again, but the second time when I try to fly it, Mini again, it says you are in a no-fly zone. But I got my shot anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's DJI's geofencing. So. Yeah. I think I talked on this about a few shows ago, but I had a discussion with Brendan Schulman, who's the Senior Vice President of Policy and Legal Affairs with DJI. And I said, you guys really got to update your no-fly zones so that they better reflect the laws of the country that you're flying in. I said, because right now you're preventing a lot of flying that is totally legal. And his response was, well, this decision was made with these multiple different bodies and stuff like that. And I, after he named off all those bodies, I said, yeah, but none of those was Transport Canada. So there was no input from Canada, but you're imposing the NFZs on Canada where you shouldn't be, right? And he says, well, it doesn't matter. You know, that's the international IAOC, is it? Something like that. But that was what that committee had come up with as a, and I said, well, without representation from Canada, I don't consider that valid. But he didn't like me. Oh, well. So, yeah. But anyway, we've run out of time, gentlemen. Thanks for stopping by. Your information was valuable, and hopefully others get some good use out of that. And maybe we'll have you on again. You guys can be SMEs, you know, subject matter
I'll
experts.
be on when I click it off. I can show you what it looks like when it's opened. Well, that's one thing. You can't put them back together yourself.
No, you have to get it repacked, and you don't want to do that because that's not cheap. So
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody. So in the meantime and in between,
Have a good evening. Have a good evening.
That's another edition.
That's all, folks.